Hello there, and welcome back to the Brightworks. Turns out the servers are down today. Some sort of unforeseen error has caused them to take a little break. So I figured it's the perfect time to take a look at a nice long game of Supreme Straits. Let's meet our team, shall we? Spawning in the southwestern side, we have the Krogoth. The Krogoth, going to be our red team leader for today. 34 true skill, definitely way up and in the top leagues here. Very, very nice to see. Going to be in this sort of supporting position. This is kind of a tech position, but also very, very close to the front lines. Usually this position is one to help this street be supreme. Spawning in the northeastern side, sorry, is going to be Nunyanoimi. Nunyanoimi. Yeah, I hope they got that right. Going to be our blue team leader today, conquering the Straits from the northeastern side, and they're also in a bit of a support position. Not quite the front line, but right behind it, one step behind it. So not really a backline player, but right there on the front. Looks like they're going to be heading for the water based on their arrow paths that they're drawing out here, so that'll be interesting to see. But let's get this match underway. A little bit of some drawing there. I'll let you take a look before I erase it. Looks like there's some planning and coordination happening here on behalf of the blue team. Ender SCFA looks like they're describing their path here, but we'll just see how that goes. Sometimes those plans are subject to change. So what I really want to look at here, there's a few things that I love to look at on Supreme Straits. One of which is the C lane player here, which is going to be the red team's player is going to be Zulu. And for the blue team is going to be Ender SCFA, Starcraft, French Addict. I don't know. SCFA. Oh, whoa, we're going for a air lab after that. That is quite interesting. We usually don't see an air lab on that position, but I suppose it could actually be kind of nice. You could get a transport out and move your commander over here, or even over here. That might be an interesting play. Move your commander and kind of combo this position over here. Maybe even capture some of this stuff. That would be really cool. Looks like Nunyanoimi is going for ships here. That's an interesting way to play this position. Definitely a bit unconventional. Usually what we see is this position helps the front, but I guess as long as Pistol Pete is going to be helping the front, that's going to be a-okay. Now Zulu has not gone for any sort of laboratory yet. Wow, that's a lot of static defense. We have one laser turret for every one of these metal extractors here. I suppose a run-by is not going to do any damage, but it does mean that the production is going to be quite a bit slower. R and Rico going to be contesting the red team C lane. R and Rico themselves are playing on the beach lane here, and they're going to have boats out quite a lot sooner than Zulu will. Ender SCFA has got a has got a transport, and he moved the commander over here. Really, really desperate to claim all of these, but I don't see why you wouldn't just let your teammate claim these and instead go after this island over here. In my mind, that seems like a much better option. Yeah, I don't know. We do see some ticks pushed out and across the map. We have a rover here from the light pink player, Sumpunk. Don't know if I can pronounce that correctly. Don't have the mouth movements down quite, but yeah, it looks like there's also some ticks harassing the backline here as well, getting some damage on RN Rico. I'll just call you Rico from now. But yeah, getting some damage. Oh, those aren't ticks, those are rovers as well. Either way, in the backlines here. Oh, a stop vote is called. Wow, already we're getting up to some shenanigans here. Ender SCFA and Nunyanoimi. Or Nunyanoimi. Yeah, Nunyanoimi. Anyway, they're getting into a bit of a scuffle here, but oddly enough, Ender has not decided to go for the lab over here. We're going for the lab over in this corridor. Very confusing. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. This is a bit of an odd strategy. The morale for the blue team is sure to be lower because of this disagreement between these players. Wow, that's a lot of ticks that were left over here. I'd love to see these moved around. Ooh, not to the commander though. Very nice. We are going to dodge the commander. I'd love to see these split up and get into the back line here and start harassing some of this production. Can definitely be quite dangerous here. A pawn does find them, and it's going to be eager to start shooting into those ticks. Only manages to get one. The others are scuffed up pretty badly, but they do not go down. They do get the resbot. That's quite nice. Those are expensive to build in the early game, so it's really nice to see those picked off. Looks like they're going to get a metal extractor too. Zoomed out a little too early there. And they might get some more damage in the backline, but let's take a look elsewhere. Has any aggression come across to the red team yet? No, none at all. The red team, yeah, basically looking stock standard. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. We've got bots, we've got vehicles, we've got everything we can hope for. Artillery is raining down from above on my mom owns Fiat 500. Fix it again, Tony. That's what the Fiat stands for. I had a Fiat for a little while, and let me tell you, that thing was. Well, they don't call it a fix it again, Tony, for nothing. It was in the shop almost more than I could drive it. It's a MR2 Spider. It's really cool car, but definitely had a lot of problems. They don't make them anymore either. They don't even make parts for them. It was a really unique transmission system, and they just don't make them anymore, so they're really expensive to fix. So had to abandon that car, unfortunately. Maybe one day. It's still in my family, but I just don't have it anymore. Some hovercraft have come across the map here to Enrico's base, who has not managed to rebuild these metal extractors on land anymore, which does mean that he's going to be at quite a disadvantage, especially considering that he did not claim these over here. Pistol Pete is going to claim them, so at least it's his friendly team that is going to have those. We have some missile trucks here. Keeping Zulu at bay, though. That's quite nice. But yeah, all these Seekers in the backline are going to be a huge pain. They're out and about, seeking, as well as their name would imply, anything that they can in order to shut down this player's production here. Looks like they're going to target the backline, which I think is a great idea. We do have a gunship out, so that could go over to help clean those up, but we also have the commander here. It's pretty good. Light laser turrets as well. Yeah, going to have decent enough time trying to defend these Seekers. They are microed pretty well, though. The laser turret's going to start laying into them. Commander as well, and I don't think these stand much of a chance. Oh, they might get a metal extractor. Very nice. All right. Was it worth the cost of all those? Oh, for 2 metal extractors. Oh, I was going to say for 2 it might be worth it, but for 1, I don't think that was quite enough to justify all the metal costs there. Now, you can always go for those hover tanks. That's always a decent option here. Rather than just letting your Seekers get blown apart by missile trucks. This is quite unfortunate to see. Oh, they finally decide to act. They say, wait a second, I don't like being shot. Being shot at doesn't feel good. I think I'm going to change my amount of being shot to 0. And so indeed, they start to get aggressive. They start to fire back. Yeah. Heavy laser turret was built up here, and that's quite nice. That is actually within range of a lot of these artillery pieces. I believe artillery still outranges these. Range of 620 versus range of 710, so yeah. Artillery can still well outrange this, but it is just artillery, so I think moving the grunts forward is exactly the right idea here. Going to force this artillery to back off so that they can no longer shell from a distance here. Very nicely done by my mom owns Fiat 500. Proper naval battle going on over here. We have submarines, we have the assault frigates, we have the gunboats, we have everything under the sun. We even have some missile corvettes rather. Launching away those light missiles from a distance, trying to just properly pepper up these dolphins, sink them to the depths. Oh, they managed to snipe one. Very nice. Every free hit you get is a free hit you should take, that's for sure. Yeah, if we can just posture here, we can slowly whittle down these armies, especially considering that we have the range here with these assault frigates. We have a single LSAW here, and a couple dolphins, but yeah, the army is nowhere near big enough to contest this one here by Ender SCFA, so the orange player is in quite a lot of trouble. In fact, they've already lost Navy. Yep, just like that. Just goes to show just exactly how temperamental these naval battles can be here. It didn't take much, and you can see that we've already lost the entire naval battle. Hashtag sea lost. Yeah, very nicely done by Ender SCFA. It was a bit odd. Oh, wow, okay. It took me this long to realize, but yeah, the blue player has completely rage quit and has abandoned the match. What a party pooper. Shame on you, Nunya Numi. Good job, CFA. I mean, you were part of the problem, but good job anyway for sticking through with it and not giving up as well. Whoa, Pistol Pete, all the way over here in this base. What on earth? Yeah, Pistol Pete has suddenly found himself well into the enemy production over here. Not sure exactly how he even got over there. Might have been a transport, might have been, I don't know, maybe just walked over there. Either way, that's a ton of damage in the back line here. Zulu suddenly brought down real low. Commander, yep, okay, we're degunning everything. I was gonna say, I'd almost like to see stuff captured over here, and then you could just use the enemy's production against them. Oh, but this is still quite nice. I'd also love to see some, some turrets go up. Some sentry turrets or some anti-air turrets. Either one, I think, would be phenomenal. Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on this. Pistol Pete. Not a man to be stopped. We don't really have anything to stop this commander, do we? We have some sprinters coming out now, but with proper D-guns, they shouldn't be a problem. The team is feeding him energy to keep him cloaked. Everyone's running out of energy. Oh, Pistol Pete. Nice. Good D-gun. One more. Very good. Kinda Man has been forced to bring the commander forward here. And we are going to go for a trade. Very nicely done. Was there a wreckage left? There was no wreckage left. So in case you missed that, the D-gun from the hot pink player wiped the wreckage of Pistol Pete, and right before Pistol Pete died, he fired a D-gun as well that destroyed the wreckage of Wallfind Kinderman, completely removing the wreckages. Wow, what an interesting play there. For the fact that neither of these commanders left a wreckage on the field, I would say that was absolutely worth it. We essentially just took out Zulu's base. We shut down at least 300 build power here for this hot pink player, and didn't give away any metal at all. So yeah, I think I quite like that position here. Wow, now props to Orange for actually continuing to rebuild using the lone constructor that was on the shore over here, or not on the shore, but rather out in the depths, I might say. Yeah, this player is stalling mostly on build power here. Everything in the sea has been torn down and is being either reclaimed or rebuilt here by these death cavalry. Yeah, we are going for a bit of a hovercraft platform over here, so I'd love to see what this can probably do. We don't have much in the name of defense over here on CFA's sea lane position. I guess I would say they sort of have two different sea lane positions here, but the main sea lane position, not a whole lot there, so that would be interesting to see if maybe we can get some hovercraft snuck through on that side. Front lines so far look pretty stagnant. We have a little bit of harassment from some offshore destroyers, actually. That's kind of interesting. We have an agitator as well. We're gearing up for a proper late game, and I can tell you this one goes the distance, so I'm going to speed things up a little bit here as we step into the later parts of this match. A lot of drawing happening right there, not sure exactly why. A lone metal extractor stands in the water for Orange, but we do have the metal extractors over here as well. We're spending our metal on a bot lab here. We do have the sea lab as well, or the amphibious, the hovercraft platform, the naval hovercraft platform. Interesting. And we're going for some of these crocodiles, the hover tanks, and I think it's a great idea. Uh-oh. Looks like this was spotted by the blue player, and your Ender's CFA now has well awareness of exactly what's going on over here, so this lab is probably not long for the world. Big push coming out here. Fat boy stomping its way forward, tearing down some of these tanks here. Another one out of the field, and wow, these do so much damage. See, they just wipe away these hounds with a single shot. Absolutely devastating. They even put up a pretty good fight against the bulls. That's really impressive. Those are usually quite difficult to deal with. Reclaim everything mid. It's a great point here. You can see with these highlights now, there's 2.5 metal here and 5.5 thou metal on that point as well. Really, really dangerous stuff. We see snipers coming out too. That's always great. Really, really good counter against the vehicles because, well, those vehicles, they can have quite a lot of health, some of them, the tanks. And the snipers are a pretty good solution to deal with that. Burst them all down with a single fell swoop. What is the plan as far as backline players go? Looks like we are finishing up an advanced fusion reactor, so that is quite nice. The whole team is going to have a little bit of energy overflow here. That's very nice to see. We finished up another anti-nuke. We had a anti-nuke bot, but that can now be moved away as the anti-nuke proper is built up. Very good, very good. And yeah, things are looking really good in the backline of the red team. For the blue team here, the green players, both of the green players, they've both been hard at work. The light green, the lime green player. Oh, we have scavenger units enabled. I didn't even notice. Well, that is quite interesting. So scavenger units are enabled, meaning we're going to see some really proper high-level stuff. Some really interesting units coming out here. I'm excited to see that. It looks like blue has found the production facility over here. There must have been a run-by with those tanks. Yeah, it looks like they died somewhere back here. Did not manage to tear down this facility, at least not entirely. Yeah, it looks like we have scavenger units enabled, so that'll be fun to see those hit the field and wreck carnage, as they are often wont to do. Is there any sort of... Oh, interesting. Epic supporter. Super heavy assault corvette. Oasis drone carrier. Carries 24 drones. Whoa. Basilisk ship. What on earth? Okay, so there's some really, really cool late game units that you can build here with the scavenger units enabled for Navy. I never knew that. Oh, we're going to see a drone ship come out. Sweet. Yeah, let's take a look at this bad boy. So, okay, yeah, so it's like the drone port thing. But yeah, it just has a ton of drones all around it. Carries 24 drones. Cool. So I'm guessing this can just move into port somewhere around and harass things down with these drones. What's the range on these? Oh, okay, it's pretty big. You can definitely do some work with this thing. Oasis drone carrier. Does it have an anti-nuke? I would think it would have an anti-nuke. Like, visually it has an anti-nuke, but I don't know if that's just because it's a carrier skin. I'm not sure. I'd love to see. I don't see any anti-nuke radius, which makes me think no, it does not. Also, huge props to the orange player down south here for maintaining production. We're not giving up here. We are producing a bunch of these platypus. We're even producing some of these rolling bombs, the amphibious bombs. Gonna start using these destructively. Pop. Yeah, they're not tremendous, but they're certainly better than nothing. Ooh, a Shiva is on its way, though. It is spotted by one of these amphibious bombs. Ah, we have artillery on the ground here. A Vanguard ready to put its life on the line for this team. Very nice to see. Fighters are coming out now. The Shiva are finally making land. The Marauder are here, though. The Marauder are a pretty decent option against the Shiva. We definitely don't want to, like, bunch them up. We want that AoE damage to be spread out as much as possible. But we do want to get a surround on them, so it's a bit of a tricky thing to balance here. Yeah, overall, these Marauders do a great job of pushing that back, though. Very nice. Meanwhile, the Platypus have torn this base asunder. Everything is falling here. The construction ships are in a lot of danger. These Platypus are hovercraft, not naval. And so what that means is that these torpedo launchers are effectively useless against them. Which is quite nice. That means that this is going to be tremendously effective. And indeed it is, at destroying down this whole base. The Shiva have found another target, though. Ooh, they find that advanced geothermal plant, blow it up, and send those poor construction turrets to their milky grave. Marauders are rearranged here so that they can deal with the Shiva that are coming on shore. Very good to see. Again, love to see those split up a little bit more, but yeah, they're doing a decent job. And yeah, the Shiva threat is essentially addressed here. Production is slowed to such a grinding halt that there's not really a whole lot more to do. Amphibious bombs, trying to be annoying here. Really difficult to use those. Just these ones specifically because they are cloaked. They don't do tremendously well. They tend to just die. Wow. Huge contingent of these T3 hover tanks moving forward here. We had plans for a Devastator, but it looks like that hasn't been built yet. So indeed, a lot of these hover tanks are going to be marching forward. These have a depth charge launcher, so they can attack anything submersible. They also have that above ground cannon, of course, so they can attack anything above the water as well. Very, very versatile unit here. We have some pawns coming out, some of the epic pawns. Look at that bad boy. Oh, not mute. There we go. He comes running, running, and running, running, and running, running. What an absolute battle beast. He's as big as a commander. As he takes us into the front lines. Look at him lift up his massive blaster cannons. Almost as big as a Razorback. What an absolute unit. This whole front line is a mess of ravaged warfare. We can see the ticks and the pawns running forward in super speed. They just look so funny. Constantly streaming forward here. The Oasis carrier has not been used here. I'd love to see these used a little bit more aggressively. See a Black Hydra prompt out. Very nice to see. Come on, build some of these other unique ships. I'd love to see them. I wonder if he thought that this Oasis was a anti-nuke ship. That could be maybe hoping that it was an anti-nuke and a carrier ship, but unfortunately it's neither. Well, it is a carrier ship, but it's not an anti-nuke ship. The front line looks like it's in a little bit of trouble here. This pawn spam is really, really dangerous. We don't really have a great unit line to deal with this, and we don't have the static defenses to tear this down efficiently either. We also have a whole bunch of these hover tanks pushing in as well, coming in from the side, and they do find a really vulnerable position over here. Indeed, they will take down the purple production center, at least one of them. Yeah, things are not looking good here. Some of these heroic pawns, these massive pawns, are pushing forward and they're trying to hold the lines. Whoa, quadruple nuclear bomber comes in to tear down what is left of that Thor. But the tick stream is unstoppable. We do see some pawns spammed out to the front lines. It's a decent counter to all this, but of course a Juno would be a whole lot better. A lot of aggression here as a bunch of platypus make it into the back line to tear down a little bit of production here, although we are already up to the advanced fusion stage, so these are not really contributing as much as you would originally hope for, or ordinarily hope for, I should say. Drones trying their best to be dangerous here, but these platypus, of course, have their little anti-air rocket that they can fire. And so, in fact, they will not be able to, the drones, rather, will not be able to deal much damage to these. That being said, they're giving it a good try. Now we have more than enough army here to deal with all this. We also have a rat. The brick with a huge-ass gun. You can see when this thing fires, it fires a bunch of, I think those are like Tsar projectiles, if I had to guess. But it fires a massive spread of them. So just like absolutely devastating. What a crazy, crazy unit. See, this thing does immense damage to even a Thor. Makes the Thor look small. Whoa, looks like nukes came down here too. Things are heating up. We're into the atomics age here. Wow, this platypus is still maintaining maintaining itself here. It was healing itself by gaining experience and then therefore gaining life, which is hilarious. Capital ships have made beachhead here, and they are going to start firing away. We do have some of these shield generators, though, to try and keep these things safe. Absolutely love these games with the scavenger units turned on. I think they're so much fun. We also get to see these T2 windmills over here. Huge windmills. They produce 10x the power that a regular windmill would. Or 10x the power that is currently on the top here. That's another way to think of it. Yeah, this T3 gantry is in a lot of trouble. And it looks like it will go down. Yeah, indeed. Very nice. That's a really good snipe for these Black Hydras. It's certainly very valuable. The Marauder Wall. There's some Vanguards here too, but the Marauders are here to safeguard against any kind of intrusion. Intrusion like Shivas. Or gunships. Wasps, I believe. Yeah. Very nicely done. I think it's high time we move these Marauders in and we just use them offensively. Prompt a defense with the counterattack. I think that might work phenomenally here. These lines are getting crazy. A lot more hover tanks are pumped out now. Our Enrico was set back quite a few pegs. Very difficult to deal with. Not sure. How are these routed here? Interesting. We have one going up here, and then we have some going around here. No matter where they're going, we have a whole lot of units going everywhere. These Black Hydra are starting to get into the amount of numbers where they can really become dangerous to anything walking by the coast here. Just the sheer amount of firepower that they can put out is absolutely devastating. This is a really crucial shield generator as well. Plasma deflector, because we have some advanced fusion reactors well within range of these Black Hydras here. Maybe not well within range, but certainly within firing distance. Within conceivable range, I should say. Is there anything interesting you can produce out of this amphibious gantry? Oh, we can make an epic Tsar. That'd be kind of funny to roll up the beach. Yeah, I'd love to see one of those pumped out. That'd be cool. Could also just go for juggernauts. Why not? Marauders are eager to push forward and keep anything from coming near their beach. No foreign foot shall set land on this soil. This is our turf to defend. Looks like those hover tanks really ravaged this side. I see a commander death up here. That must be what took down a lot of those hover tanks, I have to imagine. Whoa, an epic Stormbringer is out. Its death explosion did almost more damage than its bombing explosion here. It takes out a ton of these advanced energy converters. This stuff is in a lot of trouble. Oh yeah, we have the T2 construction turrets as well. They're a bigger, badder version of the construction turret. Way more build power. Very, very spatially efficient. Very nice to see. We'll see an epic Recluse up on the front lines here. Very nice. Recluse, but bigger. Another nuke comes out here, wipes away a whole lot of that spam force that was on the front lines here. A few Razorbacks and a Thor stand together, but they're now standing in a puddle. One of the Razorbacks goes down. In fact, both of the Razorbacks go down. The Thor's in quite a lot of trouble here too. An epic pawn is laying into it. All of its Gatling power. This thing's doing some good work. Epic grunts are out too now. Very eager are they to tear down this Thor. This thing is surviving for quite a while though. I wonder if it's the water negating a bunch of these attacks here. Somehow making it much more tanky. We have some Titans pushed forward. One of them is extremely low. Wouldn't even mind that one's being self-destructed here just so that it can't be resurrected by any naval vessels or something. Fighters move forward. Ooh, a nuke lands right where those fighters were going in on. Nuclear bombers are in too. Wow, that's a lot of Mercuries though. The advanced fusion reactors go up, but the Mercuries, man, they tore down that army really quickly. We have 8 Mercuries right here, so anything that comes within range of this is going to be blown out of the sky quicker than you can say, beyond all reason. The rat continues to march forward here. So much firepower every single time this thing shoots. Ooh, it does finally go down. Leaves behind a very expensive wreckage, too. Very nice to see. The hovercraft march onward. We actually have some anti-airships here as well. Very nice. Absolutely critical against this Greed player who's going for entirely bombers. We've got nuclear bombers on the queue. I'd love to see a experimental gantry produced. Somebody must have one because there was that epic Stormbringer. Ah, here it is. You can see just the kind of epic things that you can build out of these. Flying epochs, a flagship with VTOL thrusters. Wait, what? We've also got the epic Stormbringer, which drops a cluster of bombs that are, I mean, it's just massive. Epic grunts pushing forward here. These are great against these shield defenses because, of course, they fire a laser projectile. And the stream of pawns marches forward. We've already got one of these epic VTOLs, flying epoch, up here on the mountain, laying down suppressive fire. But it's not quite enough yet. Indeed, the Thors march forward, impervious to your light arms fire. The Krogoth, a little bit of trouble here. Commander does go down. Tried to back away from that. I think the right decision would have just been to push in as far and as fast as you can here. Unfortunately, the commander does go down. The Titan has stopped moving for some reason. Don't know what's happening here. This is really unfortunate. Titan could definitely get into the red base. Ooh, there it goes. We do wipe off a big part of that red base. Take down the advanced geothermal plant. That is quite a lot of damage done. Titan has definitely paid for itself at this point. Now, a bunch of damage has been done over here, too. We do have a bulwark standing against the storm. Do we have the... We should have the epic bulwark, I believe, if we have T2. Let me look at X and second page here. Yeah, we have the epic bulwark. This is just, like, amped up to 11. The main cannon, the top cannon, is a heat ray, like the Krogoths. The secondary cannon is the blue beam, like a pulsar. And the lower 2 guns that fire rapidly are heavy lasers. So it is just absolutely devastating. Everything is kicked up a notch. Oh, you see an epic pulsar over here. It is underpowered though, so yeah, we don't have the energy to fire this thing. Really unfortunate. Otherwise it would do tremendous work against all of this stuff. You can see when it does fire, it absolutely belts these things. It's basically just a regular pulsar, except it fires super, super quickly. We do finally have the power for this. And you can see it melts this T3 like it's nothing. Absolute beast of a defense. The Epic Tsar is out now, and it is laying down these nuclear shells. You can see when this thing fires, it just lobs this tremendous projectile. Absolutely devastating. I'd love to see some unique units pumped out of here. Maybe an Epic Tsar here and there. I guess we don't really have a huge economy built up. That's something that could definitely be improved here. This is, well, okay, you know, I take it back. This is a pretty huge economy. We're just producing out of 2 T3 labs simultaneously, so I guess it's better to be spending our energy than not to be, so never mind. No fault here. No more epochs coming out, eh? The flying ones. I'd love to see some more of those, or maybe some of those epic Stormbringers. They can really lay on the hurt. He's right about that. You cannot tell this epoch what to fire at. Not at all. This thing just has no concept of what it's shooting at here. Can the snipers fire at this thing? I don't think they can. Oh, look at that. So the pawns can do more damage against the epoch than the snipers can. Which is just hilarious. Fighters are moving in against the epoch, though. Gonna be really, really damaging. Love to see some fighter support for that epoch coming out. That'd be really great about now. Nuclear bombers also trying to be useful, but they cannot launch their nuclear bomber in a anti-air fashion, unfortunately for them. We were starting up a Ragnarok. We were thinking about it, but we did not manage to finish that one. This rat holding the front lines. What an epic battlefield. These scavenger unit games, I'm not even sure what to go for as far as a winning strategy. My mind immediately jumps to the Nostradamus maneuver just because I think it's so hilarious. But certainly with an air wall like this, and if it gets any thicker, it'd be extremely difficult to pull that off. Just reading the chat here. Oh, there's some nuclear bombers trying to come in here, but there are Mercuries firing down. Ooh, one of them makes it through. Ooh, it just barely doesn't. It does take down this long-range plasma cannon, which might have been its goal there. Did the flagship go down? It looks like it did. Yeah. These Mercuries being so devastating against any of this anti-air. I love that we're not even going for flak anymore. We're just going for more and more Mercuries. I mean, it works, I suppose. These ships are being quite annoying. Death Cavalry bringing these back from the dead. Refloating them from the depths in order to put them back in commission on the high seas. For what it's worth, it's highly effective. The Marauder Squad over here has been very effective at keeping these beaches clear. Maybe they're the lifeguards. These are the lifeguards of the tan player here. And it looks like they're finally going to go on a little bit of aggression, which is really, really nice. Yeah, I guess. Well, not over there. I would love to see these in a slightly better position here. Maybe send them across to push up this ramp over here, the sea lane, or maybe send them to this island. Either one, I think, would be phenomenal. But they do not have an underwater attack, so this area is not specifically where I would encourage you to send them. Lots of vanguards laying down fire over here, but there's so many death cavalry that this is essentially a non-issue. All these ships are immortal. I'm bulletproof, as the heavy from Team Fortress 2 might say. Lots of resbots here on the front line as well, making sure to bring a lot of these units back to life, send them out to fight once more. Really, really nicely done. I do love to see that. We have a huge anti-air contingent of these, what are these called, Dragon Slayers here, trying to stop any sort of naval push as well, which is really nice. We see some yellow Marauders matching the tan ones that were on this side. The tan Marauders will end up going after this base over here, this kind of production facility, island-based production facility. Anti-nuke goes down, so we could definitely expect to see this get nuked if we wanted. But it looks like the Marauders are more than happy to just do the work themselves. Never let it be said that the Marauder is a lazy unit. Bunch of Shuriken are trying to help here, but the Marauder, of course, have that integral anti-air missile that lets them shoot those down really easily. Oh, no, don't bring them back. I think we could definitely just send these in. Move them up the beachhead. Although there are some epic grunts, so that might be difficult to push through. What a crazy line of Thors. We do see a rat brought back from the dead. Unkillable rat. Here's those epic bulwarks I was talking about. You can see, wow, you can see the size comparison here. Just how much more massive these things are. Armageddon Heat Ray, long-range ground-to-ground tachyon accelerator, and a high-energy ground-to-ground laser. Really devastating stuff. Maybe we'll get to see it from some of these hover tanks here. We're going to try an EMP and Epoch, which does not work. Fortunately, they're un-EMPable. Nuclear bombers, though, they are nukeable, so I'll give you that one. You can definitely nuke them pretty well. This huge group of anti-airships, though, is able to knock all those fighters out of the sky, all those bombers, I should say. The front lines here are holding steady. But they are taking a lot of fire. I'm not sure if spamming units is the better way to go here, or if we should just be upgrading the economy beyond all reason. I think that might be name drop, right? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what the appropriate strategy is here. These big long games are just a class of their own. Now, you might notice something, and it might be jarring at first when you consider this. These tumbleweeds are not the normal size. These are epic tumbleweeds, and it's a ball with a nuke warhead inside. There we go. Couldn't have put it better myself. This is pretty epic, I have to say. If I saw these twins rolling towards me here, I would be pretty unhappy about things. Wow, absolutely beautiful. Oh, I love those so much. Epic tumbleweeds. You do have to be careful because, of course, as soon as one of these explodes, everything around it in a massive radius explodes, right? You can see the detonation radius of this thing is tremendous. I mean, they're not kidding. It is literally a nuclear warhead inside of a rolling ball. We've actually got a few of them that are pushed pretty far forward. We do have this one here. You have to be so careful about moving these next to your own units, because every one of these ships will go up in a ball of smoke here. Ooh! I'm not sure what lit all that up. Must have been these ships over here that eventually took out Red's base. Really lucky that these tumbleweeds weren't next to each other and chain reacted all the way back to the pink production facility. Oh, you can see out already, right? They're in a nice long line of productions. And suddenly one of them at the front explodes, and it just pop, 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 all the way back to your main base. This is hilarious. We've got VTOLs, we've got flying epochs going against the Seaborn Cortex equivalent, the Black Hydras. That is just too good. We have a demon out on the front lines, the flamethrower mech. I have to say these things are not superbly impressive as far as, individual performance goes. But damn if it isn't a cool unit. Oh, he didn't fall on his face. He fell over. Now the real fun begins. The tumbleweed marches forward. Oh, they can be paralyzed. That's interesting. Oh, the bombers missed, though. That's not great. Oh, it's getting pretty far forward. Boom goes the dynamite, or boom goes the TNT, should I say. There's another name drop for you. 2-in-1 video. Look at you lucky duck. Yeah, you can see that thing wiped away most of the army that was here anyway. Probably more prone to friendly fire than anything else, but at the very least, they're really cool to see. I love this engagement between the Epoch and the Black Hydras here. That's just so funny. We have the aerial Epoch versus the naval Black Hydra. More of these demons marching forward. Pretty powerful and grouped together. I guess I have to give them that. Oh, this is really dangerous. Rolling these past right next to the front lines here. Oh. Scared me a little bit, gotta say. Bunch of EMP missiles here. Oh, they are going to paralyze this tumbleweed. Stop it dead in its tracks. Oh, I don't like this one bit. Oh, there he goes, and that's all of Yellow's front line completely wiped away. That's gotta hurt. Epic Recluse here, raining down fire from above. Really nice to see. These parabolic trajectory missiles firing as best they can here. The Epic Recluse just as bad at tracking as the regular Recluse. Interestingly, they are all-terrain though, so they can go underwater. They can do whatever they did, please. Very cool to see. This base is having a bit of an issue here. We have a Epoch firing away from a very long distance. Can this thing reach all the way over there? It cannot. So indeed, we have a little bit of an issue. Oh, this tumbleweed is really close to all these units here. Boom! There it goes. And wow, that does a whole lot of damage there. Whoops! Accidentally left my Discord unmuted. That's a bad habit of mine. Let me fix that for you for just a second here. Oh, no, ignore it. Ignore it. It's not you. It's me. That one's me. Don't go check your Discord. I apologize. I apologize. Yeah, I always forget to turn that on and off. People complain to me, oh, how come you never responded? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I turned all my notifications off to record, and then I didn't get anything. And then this happens, where I turn it back on again. Ah, the life of a YouTuber. Oh well. More of these demons used as like a shock troop, and I think for that purpose, they definitely work pretty well. Epic Czar is definitely not afraid to shoot at its own feet. But it looks like it won't have to as this epoch tears down the demon there. Anti-airships are tearing down the anti-air airships. Or anti-airships are tearing down the airships. There we go. There's a word sentence for you. I know you guys like those word sandwiches that I build for you. Nice and tasty. Bacon, lettuce, tomato, and grammatical errors all stacked on top of each other, just like you requested. Tumbleweed right next to another one. I think both of these are going to go up in a nice fiery explosion here. Boom goes the first one. The second one scuffed up pretty badly because of that. The question is, are these epic bulwarks enough to shoot these down? I think because of the fact that we haven't even seen the second array of lasers used here, we're probably going to be more than enough. Torpedo bombers here to take down this epoch. Not a bad idea. It's of course the right counter. I think there's some really epic units that you could be using here instead. Say for instance a flying epoch. That'd be fun to see. What is our late game strategy for both these teams? Looks like we've basically teched up to our max back here. We're kind of running out of space. Maybe eat up all these windmills. That's one option. At the very least, eat up these windmills. We don't have a whole lot of air constructors, though. That's kind of what you need in order to do that. This production for the light brown player here in the northwestern half of the map is definitely looking pretty nice. We've got these hovercraft consistently streaming out here. I'm not sure why we wouldn't just build like a bunch of pawns or recluse it. Excuse me, got a little bit of a hiccup there. These longer games, they definitely take a lot more out of me. Have to pace myself, right? If I just keep it high octane, all action, all gas, no brakes the entire time, I'll never make it through any of these. So I have to limit myself when I'm looking at these real long games. More Titans moving forward into the sea over here. Ah, and we finally have the epic Czar built. So excited to see this thing make land. Really sad we didn't get to see any of these crazy ships. Ah, right as I say that. Would you look at the timing? Haven't even looked at this replay yet, but I'm already predicting exactly what's going to happen. We see a Basilisk ship. Long-range plasma cannon ship. 4,950 range. Is that just the full range of a Basilisk? Wow, it damn near looks like it. I mean, imagine a couple of these parked next to the beach, right? You could absolutely see how that would be really devastating to anything nearby the shore. Look at this crazy wall of plasma deflectors here. Absolutely insane. Also, this is kind of a bad habit if you're going to build these flak turrets. Make sure to spread them out a little bit. These do technically need a line of sight, and they will collide with each other. So sometimes they'll try and shoot at things, and they will hit nothing. They will hit each other, which is really unfortunate. Nuke comes down to stop some of the naval production over here, but hardly hits anything super valuable. This island has been reset after that Marauder attack. It's been rebuilt, and it's now a hovercraft platform, as well as a T-1 bomber facility. Interesting. I don't hate that, actually. The Cortex T-1 bombers are quite nice. You can do some really interesting plays with those. The Basilisk ship is out. Look at that thing. It looks so ridiculous. These Titans are under a lot of trouble from these submarines here that just get free reign to shoot at these as much as they'd like. The Titans, of course, have no way of shooting underwater, so these submarines get their just desserts. This Titan is going to be walking right into a heavily fortified area, and there's a Juggernaut, Tigers, and Scorpion batteries waiting for him on the other side. I don't think this Titan has much longer to live. So this brave king, after finally making through the walk of the water, will finally be destroyed. Green is pushed all the way into the heartland here. Tons and tons of these vanguards are firing on the green forces. Green's army consists of Thors and Titans, which is really nice to see. These Thors do have their paralysis beams as well, which is always really nice. Just stun stuff. Very good to see. I'm surprised we're still going for these lunkheads as opposed to maybe, oh, I don't know, epic pawns or razorbacks or titans even. Just any of the cool stuff. Figure you have the scavenger units, you might as well use them, right? I don't know. Maybe they're old-fashioned. Oh, I don't need those. I don't need them. They are new tricks. Wow, those bombers were absolutely devastated by these artillery here, or rather by the anti-air here. Flak doing tremendous damage. Oh, the bombers do drop their payload though, and the anti-nuke launcher does go down. We're gonna see a nuke launched. Oh, we have the nukes. We have them charged. Anti-nuke just went down. Huge explosion over here. It looks like Tan's main production facility was wiped away off the map. The forces were not responding in time. Lol Find Kahneman has realized that there was a push on the Eastern Front and was just slightly too slow to react, and so that is most of Tan's production completely wiped away here. I'm struggling to find a reason why we bombed that anti-nuke, but then we didn't use our own nuclear tubes in order to blow that apart. Very odd. The drone oasis is actually being used here. Finally seeing a little bit of action as these drones move forward to devastate this front line a little bit. Very nice to see. In my opinion, I think these drones decay a little bit too fast. I think they could definitely do with like you know what it should be? It should be when they fire. Every time they fire, it drains a little bit of their battery, and then they have to go back and recharge. I think that might be a good way to balance that. Oh, we do have a tumbleweed that's rolled up shore here. It's being devastated by bombers, but it will explode and take out everything in this vicinity, including the fighters. Yeah, we're evacuating everything indeed. We don't want to blow up all of our main forces here when this thing goes kaboom. A lot of those bombers are sacrificed in order to blow up that tumbleweed, but well worth it. I mean, look at the devastation this thing packs inside of it. Absolutely brutal. Saying to res instead of eat everything off the front line, I think that's a great idea. It's one way to maintain an army capable of fighting back against any kind of push here. Are we on 4x speed? I think these late games just get so laggy with all of these units that eventually 4x speed, 8x speed, it doesn't matter. The game is still just going to run at the same speed because it can't process everything. Definitely improvement in light speed. Wow, these epic bulwarks are so strong. See these things firing away here. Just doing so much damage. Every one of these units melting in front of them. I think the epic bulwark is definitely a whole lot better than the epic tachyon. It doesn't have the same range, so that's really the benefit of the tachyon, is you can shoot things from so much further away. But definitely it's way, way, way more firepower here. Yeah, as they make very quick work of all those hovercraft. You're not going to break through there with hovercraft, my friend. You're going to need something a whole lot better. The basilisk here not being used strategically. We just kind of parked it here. It's just taking pot shots at whatever it can find on the beach. I'd love to see this thing starting to fire at, I don't know, Red's base, Red's little reproduction facility over here. This thing can even fire all the way to the back line here. The power of a movable long-range plasma cannon, I mean, it's absolutely tremendous. I think we are underutilizing this unit as of right now. The Juggernaut has made the walk across, as well as this epic Tsar. Wow, which is just raining fire from above here. Boom. What's the AoE on this thing? Look at the AoE on that. Absolutely insane. Makes the Juggernaut look like it's nothing. The commander has been resurrected, and so it is going to be able to D-gun these. Ooh, D-gun the other one? Nicely done. We get 2 D-guns with a single commander. Very, very nicely done. That is going to mop up that entire aggression really, really cleanly. The Krogoths showing us that that 34 true scale is no lie. Now we have an epic tumbleweed marching forward here. Yeah, there's tons of pulsars though, including an epic pulsar. So I think we are definitely going to be alright from this tumbleweed aggression. It's very hard to find a way to move these into a base without, you know, getting them blasted down from all the units and everything else. Units have been trying for a while to push this front, but there's been no luck so far. Nuclear bombers, all sorts of bombers really, have been brought out here in order to counter all this. So far it's been working phenomenally. And we do have some Thors pushing forward, and they've actually EMP'd these epic bulwarks, meaning that they are going to be torn down very quickly. A lot of the repair facilities here are getting completely blown up as well. These bulwarks are in a whole lot of trouble as the Thors roll forward. Wow, very nicely done. Very strategic use of the Thor's missile. Massive chain explosion right there as Devel 37 is forced to retreat from their base as well, most of it goes up in flames here. Looks like those Thors were wiped off the face of the Earth by about 400,000 nuclear bombs, but quite a bit slower than we should have seen here. The Krogoth says winnable, and yeah, frankly, I agree. This is actually a really even match here. Couldn't tell you who's in a better position. We have 1C under control for both teams, which is what we love to see in Supreme Straits. That means that it's a very even game. And we also have huge production facilities fueling the back lines of both of these teams. Now, I will say that the back line for the blue team looks a little bit stronger, but their front line looks a whole lot weaker. Opposed to the red team, where the front line looks like it's a little bit stronger, and the back line is still recovering from that massive run-by attempt. We have Titans guarding the beach, and I thought they were pawns for a second just because of how many they were, and they're spread out like this. Titans like pawns. Yeah, these things are just... That's the scale of the battle that we're at now. And it doesn't get more epic than that. Single Shiva trying to break through here. It will get eviscerated very quickly. Blown to smithereens. We're slowly pushing the we're slowly pushing the beach further and further inland, carving away at the terrain here until eventually we're able to move our ships deep into the heart of the enemy. That's the dream, right? Is you carve a path right through here, and you can now park your ships in the pond. You can do that. You've won the game officially. We've also almost dug a canal here. It's always funny when that happens. Enough nukes are used that boats can actually traverse this terrain. It's always really funny. Still, this Basilisk ship has not really achieved too much. It's been firing here and there, but its shot is not... Wow. Well, that was nice. Does manage to get these, it does manage to get these construction turrets to chain react. That's quite nice. If anything, that's worth it. Yeah, these shots are continuing to rain havoc down here. They do take out a Mercury. Yeah, okay, so every shot it takes is getting a little bit of damage done. We're not like maximizing the efficiency here, but we probably don't have vision either, so this is just randomness. It's just randomly working out pretty well. Epic Tsar moving forward. The Tsar can actually do terrain deformation. That's interesting. Big enough as it is to actually deform the terrain a little bit. You know it's a powerful unit when it can move the world, when it can shape the world around it. Wow, we have a we have a Ragnarok coming up in the base here. That's a tremendous use of metal. I'm not sure if I approve of that. We're also building tons of nuclear silos. We actually already have tons of nuclear silos. Take a look here. We've got 17. Well, we've got 15 produced, and we've got a lot more underway here. 2 at a time are in production. We're running all sorts of labs back here. Mostly just T1 labs, though. Oh, we do have the T3 lab that's producing Titans and Thors. Very nice. I would love to see some of these other units mixed in. Maybe a rat here and there. the rats snowball to a tremendous amount of damage very, very quickly. Zulu has decided to focus on economy here for a minute, and for what it's worth, I think that's a phenomenal decision. I think really what we need to do at this point is outgrow the enemy's economy by such a scale that it's impossible to lose it at that point. Man, I would love to see more of these Basilisk ships. Ah, there we are. Yeah, we do have more of these Basilisk ships. Great. Yeah, I'd love to see more of these parked along the beachhead here, and they can just continue firing into the mist of war. I don't know if we have vision here. We do not. I see what he's doing, though. He's trying to target down this nuclear, this anti-nuke chamber here, the Citadel. Trying to expose this a little bit to nuclear harassment, but that is far from the only anti-nuke chamber around. There's actually tons and tons here, so sniping those alone is not nearly going to be enough. That being said, we are building an outstanding amount of nuclear launchers in the back lines here. Tremendous amount of those. This northern sea is now basically uncontested. We really should probably see a little bit more coming out of Zulu. Oh, that's right, they were teching out. I wonder if the rat can traverse underwater. That is an interesting question. Zulu actually has plenty of energy to spare. We just don't have the energy converters, so actually I'd love to see some energy converters being built here. There was a bunch of construction planes. I didn't see where those went. Ah, they're over here. Ah, okay, so we're going for a Ragnarok. Very nice. Black Hydra's trying their best, but these Titans are overwhelming. Power overwhelming, as a certain unit from the StarCraft universe might say. Comment down below if you know what that is talking about. And also comment down below if you made it this far, because this has been a long one, and you're rewarded with the treat of getting to comment down below. Say I told you so. Write a nice little message down there. This game is relatively even, though. I can't find a way for either team to win this outright here. There's not one big move that I could see that would really just absolutely crush the other team. We finally decide to launch a huge assault of nukes here. I don't even know how many nukes that must have been. We have 22 built. It was probably a little bit less than that. But there's so many anti-nukes. Yeah, I don't think these are ever going to stand a chance of getting through. It does certainly drain quite a few of these. Oh, a couple of nukes land over here. That's interesting. Yeah, nukes aren't going to do it. Nukes are just too expensive, and there's way cheaper alternatives. And as well, the counter for these is just way too cheap. So yeah, I don't think I appreciate the nuclear strategy at this scale. I think this team is well aware of exactly the dangers that those nukes pose. And you can see the anti-nuke field is just tremendous. More and more of these units are pushing forward, and it looks like Zulu's got some Thors out on the field here. That's very nice to see. Do love to see some Thors out. They're a really powerful unit, and they're almost a base unit at this point. More nukes coming down here, ready to hollow out the strait. Interestingly, we're like pushing the strait outwards, right? You can see the terrain is deforming outwards, and we're almost making it wider on both sides. What on earth? We just nuked a whole straight to Mars. Look at the size of the crater that we just created here. I'm not even sure what the point of that was. Maybe it was to stop these Thors here, but we missed. I'm not sure, but either way, that was absolutely devastating. Wow, tons of bombers moving out this direction. Holy. It's a good thing these Mercuries are on this team's side, because this could do a lot of damage. We've got regular bombers, we've got EMP bombers, we've got nuclear bombers, we've got every kind of bomber your heart could ever desire. All coming to you. Oh, interesting. We have nuclear bombers coming in as well. Somehow these guys coordinated. We're gonna have a bomber fight. Bomber fight. Not Dahmer. That's the wrong one. This is a bomber fight. And they drop. This is a huge air wall though, so it's going to be really difficult for this to deal with this problem right now. You can see the FPS is dropping. We're at 5 FPS right now. Just chugging along. My computer is pretty beefy, but I don't think there's a computer in the world that could handle this kind of a problem. Oh, there's so much better eco over here. Target this one. Yeah, there we go. And there you go. So you can see, even with the massive air wall, there was still nothing that could be done over here. There was just too much mass and bombers pushing through at any given time. The rain of bombers. Looks like the Valkyries falling from their Pegasus. Wow. Yeah, the game speed is down to 90. We literally cannot run the game at any higher speed, otherwise FPS is going to tank huge. But that is all of Zulu's production taken out here. This Ragnarok is suddenly cut off from all of the metal that are needed in order to be built, so this project is futile at this point. More nukes are launched. More anti-nukes are launched. Things are looking A-okay. Oh, one of them gets through, actually. Finds a little soft spot there. There's no anti-nuke. Uh-oh. That's a lot of nukes, and that's not very many anti-nukes that have been launched. That definitely looks like enough to get through. And indeed, they pierce. They don't get much done. They do hit, but they do not hit anything super important. Aside from leaving a big crater in the ground. But now we know. Now we know we can pierce their anti-nuke back here, at the very least, which is quite nice. Always very nice to know that. Also, I'm wondering why there are Stormbringers back here. That's interesting. We must have something planned. Way more anti-nukes here for the hot pink player. Looks to be getting pretty far. Ooh, that one does a little more damage here. You can see it takes away the production facilities, or rather, it takes away the build turrets here. Another one manages to come through. We are draining these slowly, but it takes down the build power for this T3 gantry for Alandalu. More nukes. More. Pretty much tell based on how late into the firing sequence the anti-nuke is shooting whether it's going to hit or not. But yeah, there's more than enough at this point. I'm not sure where you plan to use these nukes anymore, because there's clearly enough anti-nuke in order to take down all of this. That being said, there's always the option to overwhelm the anti-nuke with sheer volume of nukes sent, right? Just burn down the amount of anti-nukes that are stored in the chamber. And that's always a viable strategy. Wow, you can look at this caldera that was left underneath the ocean surface here. You can see kind of the hillside from a nuclear explosion somewhere. That's hilarious to see. Somebody's got to win this game, though. Somebody please. Titans and Thors continue to clash on the front lines. Just a perpetual battle. We do have a scanner sweep going out now. Loads of these scout planes were sent out in order to patrol this area. We discover there's no anti-air over here, which is quite nice. They are sent now to discover some of the mysteries of the other team here. Indeed, they will actually fight quite a lot. Stormbringer dropping its massive payload. Very, very nicely done. Does manage to take out a bunch of energy converters. Doesn't manage to take out the advanced fusion reactors, though. Another Stormbringer is rolling in, though. Doesn't manage to get it, though. It was good effort. Constant unit production coming out of some of these bot labs over here. Must be quite annoying to deal with. Melundus says, please sell us all my workers. Yeah, we only have a T3 lab here, and you can't really step down from a T3 lab. Butler's not very helpful either. Melundus stuck at the highest tech tier, with no way to rebuild. That is quite funny. Huge counter-assault coming out here. More and more bombers poised to attack the front lines here. Not sure what they're going to go after, but this is a juicy economy center. We've got... How many is that there? 20 advanced fusion reactors? Yeah, that's definitely worth taking a look at blowing up here. I'd love to see it. They said nuke don't go, but I think there's plenty of anti-nuke. Not going to be worried one bit. That being said, some of these are firing pretty late. Well, some of them are firing really late. Uh-oh. And the nukes are down. Somehow our team coordinated to both attack the exact same place on the entire map. But either way, it does result in a massive explosion. Very, very nicely done. So fighters are sent in here now. Sweep across the anti-air defenses here and try and see what routes are available for harassing the enemy. We have a bunch of gunships coming out. That's quite nice. I'd love to see some dragons, or maybe even some epic dragons. That'd be nice. Trying to coordinate the team here, but yeah, the pressure is bearing on the red team. I'm just in awe. The spectacle of these games just gets so much. It's hard to even watch any one thing up close because it feels like the action is all over. The Krogoth complaining that he can't really build anything because of these boats, and he's absolutely right. These boats are being tremendously oppressive here. We just need a layer of shield so thick that nothing could ever hope to get through. Not even the air that we breathe. Ooh, but the ships do find a huge target over here. The Krogoth is forced to retreat into the shielding of an ally. And those boats continue to be a menace. He's a menace. I think one of my recent videos was called Swinging Spiders. He's a menace to society. The Spider-Man. I always like Jack Johnson. Is Jack? No, that's the singer playwright of his name. What's that guy's name in Spider-Man? The antagonist guy for the newspaper that Spider-Man works at. I always liked him because he was sort of like an antagonist in the weirdest sense of the word. Like, not really an antagonist because he has any kind of superpowers or anything. It's very, very much like, I don't know, Riddler-esque. Just like doesn't like you. It's not like he's gonna fight you, but he's gonna not ever support you and always disavow you, which is such a good idea for a superhero villain because it's definitely not the kind of bad guy that you can just go punch and beat up. speaking of superheroes, every one of these reminds me of the mechs from Pacific Rim. Have you ever seen that movie? The first one and not the second one. Don't watch the second one. Just watch the first one and pretend the second one doesn't exist. And you'll be a happier person for it. But I love how all these units remind me of the massive Jaeger from those movies. 90-minute game 7v7. Not wrong. None of that was mistruth here. More nukes launched to the skies. More anti-nukes try to claim their spot. Will there be enough? They're still firing. They're still firing. Oh, I don't know. Some of those fired pretty late. Indeed, some of them will squeak through. And the entire front line is wiped away. And it only took 39 nuclear launchers. What's the metal cost on that, by the way? 315,000 metal? Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't know what else you could spend 315,000 metal on and not win the game, right? What's the, that's not to mention also the cost of making those nukes, right? Those also cost metal and energy. Calamity costs 61,000. So we could have built several Calamities or Ragnaroks with the metal it took to build all those nuclear launchers. But damn it if they don't look beautiful when they collide with the ground. Ophia, need your fighters. Look here. Last run, baby. More nukes coming down. Just outside of the anti-nuke range. But I think the blue team has finally mounted a strong enough defense. Nuclear bombers are coming in. That's a lot of flak, though. Oh, the colliding nuclear bombers get it, though. Wow. Nuclear suicide bombers. These other bombers decide to turn away and target some of this other production over here. They're going to collide with the ground as well, but they might as well just drop their bombs. Things are looking pretty dire. Another field of nukes comes down here. And the red team finally resigns against the overwhelming pressure of the blue. Boy, that was a long one. 94 minutes and 30 seconds of a game. So many nukes, so many T3. Love those scavenger units. And thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, really, really appreciate it if you'd leave a like under the video. Leave a comment saying your favorite part was. And I will see you in the next one.